Hey everyone, this is John from Outside Your Comfort Zone. During a meeting yesterday, I had my Saebo Glove on. I've been trying to use it more and more here recently. I feel like there's more work to be done with my fingers. My fingers feel like they're more relaxed. I can do some work with the Saebo Glove. Somebody said, well, how do you put the Saebo Glove on? Well, here's the Saebo Glove. I'm not sure if the camera being that far away, but I'll be able to see much of it. The glove is pretty floppy on the end right here. Has this hard piece that goes across the back side and wraps around your wrist. And you lock it down with your wrist and you lock it down under your hand. I'll try to show you as much as I can. But I started putting a glove in this hand when I started working 8 years ago. So what I do is I sit there and stretch my fingers out a little bit. I got my elbow resting on the centerpiece here to take my shoulder out of the equation. So my elbow is what's supporting my weight of my arm right now, not my shoulder. So it makes it a little easier to work from the elbow down because that's all I'm working with right now. So I stretch them out a little bit. I injured this finger a couple weeks ago. It's a little stiffer, so I try to do this a little separately. As you see, as I stretch my fingers out, they stay pretty flat. Thumbs out here moving around a little bit. So put the Saebo Glove on. What I've learned to do is just put the glove on my palm or my leg upside down, and then invert my hand. You're going to start with your middle finger being the longest finger first. So you start inserting that first, then start working your fingers around it. I wasn't able to do it the first time in, but it does take time to learn this, as anything else you do in rehab. So I get those fingers started in there. The fingers are started in there. It may take a couple minutes to get this done, but it usually popped out. Let's re-stretch these. There we go. See another little bit more. Okay, come on, y'all got to be cooperative to me, okay? There we go, get them shoved in a little bit, shove them in a little farther. There we go. And push them down in the glove, use my unaffected hand, get behind them and shut the fingers down. Thumb sort of in the way, and I get the index finger on there, and I can pull it like this in the glove. Like this. Get my hand back up here, my fingers start to relax a little more. And work them on there. A little more. And try to get in between them. Push the glove down between my fingers. There are these little plastic tabs out here. They are to be the rubber band system of the Saebo Glove. I do highly recommend the Saebo Glove. It's I haven't had enough. I still have too much tone in my arm, my fingers, but it is starting to work. I bought the Saebo Glove probably 2 years or 3 years into my rehab and my journey, and I think at that time it was like $99. They had a special sale on it. That's why I bought one. I figured long term I probably wouldn't need one. So I don't know. I think the price now is a couple $100, but if you get a whole Saebo, maybe they'll work a deal out with you. But I do highly recommend the Saebo Glove. And they have other items too on their rehab stuff that are pretty good. I've only tried the Saebo Glove, so that's the only one I'm going to speak about. Once I get the fingers all in there, then I'll get the thumb popped in there. Go back in there too. That's it. It'll take you a couple times to do this. The more you work at it, the better off you're going to get. It's hard for me if somebody tries to help me do it. For some reason, my fingers like to tighten up more when somebody tries to push against them versus me pushing against them. If I want to lean over here, I can actually keep the elbow down. That way I can just push against the elbow and try to keep it in there. This does have a padding inside here. We'll take it and wrap it down under the wrist or the forearm. I'll pull this back a little bit now. It's in there. Get it locked in pretty much. I still have my Fitbit on, so there's a gap there for you to go past your watch if you have one. There's a plastic tab right here, and this little clip right here goes on a plastic tab. You just pull it over, clip it on there. Got the same thing going underneath the palm. So my thumb out of the way so I can pull it through here. Yes, I'm struggling a little bit, but that's okay. Everything's perfect. Get your arm in here a little we'll be able to do this pretty easily. There's a tab right here it goes to. That snaps right on top there. These straps are adjustable. They're velcroed underneath, so you can adjust them to a thinner wrist or a wider wrist or wider hand. Either one, you can do that. So these are all sitting out like this now. Saebo gives you this nice little contraption here. It's got 5 different size rubber bands in there. The ones I've been using are all right here, so I'll start putting them on anyway. So I start from the top of the hand down. So I'll clip this onto the little clip and then up to there. I don't know if you guys can see those enough. I see there's 3 different settings back here to clip to. There's 4 on the middle finger, 3 on the smaller fingers. And you got this little rubber band system that goes for every joint in your fingers. So this one goes to the, and the little tabs are cut at like an angle, so it's easy to get them looped in there and they stay. Take this to the very end, leave that one in there. I'll start working the rest of the fingers. Put this in here, go up to there. Take this one over here, that one's not doing much. You want to leave these rubber bands on here because it does stretch them out. I mean, just rubber band. I don't know how much the replacement cost them are, but it's out there. Put this one here. I'm going to go up to the second one, this one. Once I get this all hooked up, I'll bring this up close to the camera so you can see it. Now, take this one up here. Move it a little bit closer too. There we go. Put it in here. The bottom of this finger. There we go. You actually feel them pull. I said it's a rubber band system, so there is some constant pressure on there. There. This one's a little longer one I use on my thumb. There are clips out here with the thumb. The thumb attaches inside the wrist here, so it pulls your thumb outward straight. Small one up here on the tip of my thumb. Small ones here to go on the index finger. On there. This one here. This is the one for the index finger. Here it is right here. This on here. Clipped on there. Now the Saebo Glove is on. You see my hand, my fingers stay out a little bit. If I pull them out a little bit, they stay out there. It does give me a chance to move my arm around a bit, and I can start to move my fingers around. It does block off so you can't bend your wrists, so it makes you force you to use your fingers. Again, I do recommend this. They do send a little stress ball to work with too. And there's a small thing, 4 little cubes to work with. And I'm sure there's videos in here too to use this. I said I've had this thing roughly 9 years. I've used it off and on here and there. But now I'm thinking to the point where my fingers are, my wrist and arm are relaxed enough, I can do this. So hopefully this might help you guys out. Let me get this up to the front of the camera and show you. I'll knock this stuff off. See, it's got a rubber band system to it. And if you pull the fingers out, pretty much they'll stay. So my fingers are pretty loose. So I can sit back and if I turn this inside, you can see my hand more. No, take dark against dark, not too good. So I'll keep it against the color. I can start moving my fingers around a little bit and get them back out again. So I can do almost a soft grab, which is what you need to work on first, so you don't clinch everything. You want to work on a soft grab and soft release, and start there. You see my fingers are pulled out; they're staying pretty much out here. So, hope that helps you guys out. Appreciate it. That says the Saebo Glove. It can be put on by one person. Doesn't take multiple people. It does take some time to work on this to get it there. So, if you guys have any question about the Saebo Glove, you can contact Saebo. Send me a message, whatever. I'll do what I can with you, help you out with it. But I do highly recommend the Saebo Glove.